Hey man, promised you guys I was gonna read another chapter, and I did. I managed to read the Default Man, and right now I'm liking what I see. And to me, the Default Man basically is the main guy, the chosen one, the guy you see in all the movies. He's the hero, he's the villain, he's the great guy, the chosen one. And typically, you see the white male is the image of that so-called default man. Basically, he's the go-to guy, and every other guy who's from a different ethnicity, they're basically like a hashtag. And then I like how Mad Bus Driver call out the fact that a lot of these guys, these good old boys, they internalize these images. And I honestly think they internalize these images to the point where it's become a racial identity. A lot of these guys live vicariously through these characters, these fictional characters. And you got this thing where they want to complain about diversity in race identity politics. And I think it's a bunch of bullshit that these white guys that are complaining about that. Really, when they hear the word diversity, what they really think is, oh, white males are not going to be the center of everything. They're not going to be the vocal point or the center of attention. And then when it comes to racial identity politics, these guys are a bunch of hypocrites. Cause I doubt they'll say that if it was a TV show, a movie, or anything fictional, and it had a mainly white cast, and the main character is white, they would never say that that's racial identity politics. And let a white female be cast as a main character or part, like a co-main character. These guys would be moaning and groaning, talking about gender politics. These guys are racist and sexist as hell. I mean, the book, I'm looking at the book right now. I'm trying to skim through it. I read it, but I'm trying to skim back through it. But that's why they get angry when certain characters get changed, which is what Mad Bus Driver talked about in this chapter. How, the moment we suggest a black James Bond, a lot of these frat boys got angry and upset about that. And here's the kicker: a white guy was the one who suggests James Bond be black. I think his name Jason Statham. I forgot his last name, but he's on the Fast and Furious series with Dwayne the White Johnson. He was also on the Spendable. And it would have been cool to see a black James Bond. And what's effing this up for black men is that, unfortunately, we got a bunch of white male apologists within the black male community. We got to get rid of these guys and call them out too. Get rid of, as in, what I mean by get rid of, I mean like calling them out and isolating them, disowning them. That's what I mean by that. Because I'm not trying to catch a RICO case. They get real mad. They was getting real mad about a black male who could play James Bond. And then that probably would have solidified Idris Elba's career even farther. Because you already know with the brothers, man, we deliver a whole different swag. They was not about to see this black male be the default man. No, he's masculine. He's a ladies' man. He's a badass. and he delivers a unique type of swag, that's too much. That's why no one's really complaining about that TV show that's gonna be on CW. Tom Swift is about this black billionaire. He's a genius. He's good with tech, engineering, and all that. He's a smart, intelligent brother. It's basically a spinoff of Nancy Drew. He was on the episode of Nancy Drew, but he's an alphabet letter character. Now they're gonna give him a spinoff, a TV show. He's an alphabet character, so people ain't really gonna watch this shit anyways. I know black men are not gonna watch this shit. Some black females might watch it, and some liberal whites might watch it. It's not gonna be successful. I doubt it's gonna last long. They should have made that brother heterosexual. Even then, that shit wasn't gonna last long because they don't want heterosexual black men to be shown powerful like that. Like that. And I will be making my own project. It's gonna be like Tom Swift, but heterosexual. But going back to what I'm saying, they get real mad when they beloved character changes his race to black. It's the same thing with Superman. They don't want Superman to be turned black. People complain about Superman being black. And it's not even a bad idea. Superman was black in the comics. There were like 2 black Supermans in the comics. Dude, if I was a movie director, if I was able to do this, I would make a black Superman movie. Make sure the characters are written. Make sure the villains are good. Make sure the visual effects are so good, displaying Superman's strength. Dude, I'll make a kick-ass Superman movie, black Superman movie. But I digress. Now I'm about to scan through this. The reason why a lot of these dude bros out here got a problem with something like this is because it will affect their ideals. Because many of them see themselves as the heroes. They see themselves as the masterminds. Even if they're the villains, they're great villains. And black men, if you're a villain, you will be portrayed as a bumbling, stumbling idiot or a fool or somebody who's ignorant, a beast, and someone almost King Kong, like Mighty Joe Young, like. And sometimes they do it with the heroes. Blank Man was a mumbling, stumbling fool, and he was supposed to be a hero. In the Arrowverse, they had Mr. Terrific, right? They have him as a mumbling, stumbling fool, and he was like incompetent compared to Green Arrow. And if you look at it, none of the black male characters was on Green Arrow's level. And Green Arrow, he got leveled up by the writers. They damn near gave him Batman story. He got stuck on the island and he got trained by members of the League of Assassins, including Ra's al Ghul. They made him more badass than what he was supposed to actually be. Green Arrow's good, but he ain't that damn good. They gave him Batman-style abilities. And Mr. Terrific in the comic, he's supposed to be damn near Batman level in terms of fighting. And he's super intelligent. He's one of the smartest people in the DC comics. And he got lowballed in Arrow, man. They downgraded his character just so they can make the white guy look more powerful. They did the same thing to Wally West, Kid Flash on the Flash TV show. Wally West, he's completely useless. He couldn't really do anything in that show, including what's his name, Martian the Manhunter. This guy was completely useless. And he's supposed to be strong as Superman, if not stronger, if you look at his abilities. Because Martian Manhunter, he got damn near infinite amount of potential. especially with his transformation, his shape-shifting abilities. He can shape-shift through the molecular structure, right? If he wanted to, he can shape-shift his structure to absorb sun from the absorb radiation solar energy from the sun. And then he can use that to make himself more powerful if he wanted to. That's how OP Martian Manhunter is in the comics. He's never been said to do something like that, but it wouldn't be too far-fetched for him to do something like that. All right. Right now, I'm about to scan through this book. Yeah, he said that you can use... You see, white guys use the default man as a way of pimping. Facts. Because I don't seen this with my own two eyes in the real life and on the internet. Even in the media, they do this. They pimp the default man. They pimped him internationally. Facts. You know, when they hop off the board in Japan, all the work of getting the local ladies to like them has already been done through pop culture, aka the media, aka media propaganda. This is what I've been talking about. I talked about this before in an earlier video. I'm thinking about deleting that and replacing that video with this video, because if you really look at the media, again, the white guys, they're the quote-unquote default man. They're the heroes. They're the family man. They're in the action pack, all the action pack movies. They're the badasses. And look at these Western movies, Western shows. Look at Rocky, Rambo, Terminator, all these other media outlets. Taken, Die Hard. There's so many examples of this. They're being shown as being the top guy in the media. And this influenced people, especially these different cultures. These media images prop these guys up. And then the other cultures, they see this and they get in line with that. That's why a lot of these different cultures, they try their best to assimilate into whiteness. Now, I'm not saying every individual from these different cultures will try to do that, but there are some that will do it, especially in Latin society and Asian society. Don't get me started on Asian society. This is why, especially in Asian society, where fair skin means that you have some type of, is viewed to having some type of status, being higher up in the social hierarchy, while darker skin means that you're lower on the social hierarchy. They see that dark skin as being poverty. They view it with poverty. I'm not saying everybody feels this way, but it is an element. This is where the white worshiping comes from. A lot of that comes from media propaganda. And then these dude bros out here, Mr. Clean, Brad, they take advantage of that. JBW, just be white. Think about it. Look at these movies. A lot of these movies that you like, you never saw that, but as you get older, you starting to realize certain things. That's when I'm at. Yo, man, this is media propaganda, bro. They barely show brothers in these positions. Look at Lethal Weapon. Yeah, I think the movie is called Lethal Weapon with Danny Glover and what's that motherfucker name? I forgot his name. Lethal Weapon. But you see, Danny Glover, he was more passive. And then the other guy, his white partner, he was more of a badass. If a lot of people watch that movie, they would be more of a fan of the white male character than the black male character. Notice in these Hollywood movies, in these TV shows, a lot of the black guys, they get put into these they get marginalized. Their characters get marginalized, they get asexualized, or they just come at relief and that's it. they're just one dimensional. There's really no depth to their characters. And they're playing second fiddle to their white male counterparts. It's so many examples I can use, like Supergirl. Originally the show was made in Canada. It was on another network in season 1, and that's when it was at its best anyways. It was at its best in season 1. Supergirl was actually good during season 1, and then it started getting shitty after season 1. I stopped watching it after season 3. Really, I just watched one episode of season 3. I gave up on it after watching season 2. I decided to give it one more chance. I watched the first episode of season 3. Dropped it. Because they were doing my boy dirty. They did him dirty in season 2. Mehcad Brooks. He's the guy who played James Olsen. James Olsen, right? They built his character up in season 1, and they had him and Kara, aka Supergirl, as like a love interest. And they didn't get together until like around the end of season 1. And then as soon as season 2 came, they just broke it up in the first episode for no reason at all, just so they can pair her up with the white guy. That let a poor taste in my mouth, and that still do even to this day. That was some bullshit. And what else recently let a poor taste in my mouth is what they did to Nick. They did to Nick Nicholson from Nancy Drew. They had him paired up with Georgia, right? Some Asian female. And then the next season, they broke him up. They broke him up around the end of the next season. I'm like, ain't that some bullshit? Even in damn Kung Fu, like that, the Alphabet Brothers can't really catch a break. I'll be watching Kung Fu. They had the Alphabet Brother in relationship with the Alphabet Asian guy, right? They broke him up after the first season. And I'm just saying, like, to make a point. A brother can't catch a break. And then these other guys, especially Brad, he gets uplifted in the media. Now let's keep going farther in this book. Now when a brother gets off the plane and he looks like a rapper, these white guys know dude's gonna get a lot of play because of hip hop culture and stuff. Hip hop culture is becoming a little bit more popular, globally speaking. So a lot of brothers, they're gonna get responses just because of the hip hop culture. And my thing is, it's like not every brother is on this hip hop Ebonics type shit. Some brothers are on this nerd shit. Some brothers are on the educated shit. Some brothers are classic, man. Some brothers are just regular, everyday brothers, like myself. Every brother is not indoctrinated with hip hop culture, and that's why I don't like the fact that people are just gonna assume that every black man is on this Ebonics type of shit, or they're on this hood, urban type shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the case at all. It's a stereotype. Now, looking through this book, he said that white men know that the women out there that watch general Hollywood movies such as Top Gun, Titanic, Star Wars. So they know, for example, if they look like Luke Skywalker, they're going to get play. If they're going to, it's going to be easier for them if they look like Indiana Jones, they're going to get play. And it's going to be easier for them. They pimp the greatest culture. Excuse me, hegemony. My bad. And this is all facts. And to be honest with you, they don't gotta look like Indiana Jones and Luke Skywalker. A lot of these guys they can look just straight goofy looking. Short and fat. Some of them can probably not have no neck. You seen that no neck guy from the 90 Days TV show? I mean, he got some Filipino chick. Man, it probably wasn't working out. It wasn't working out with her. She was on some bullshit. See, you went to Japan. He already had a harem. This motherfucker already had Japanese bitches on his dick. And he's short, goofy looking, no neck. He ain't even a Chad. He ain't even a Chad. Like, this motherfucker is like average or below in terms of looks. I say below average. Just by his body and his structure. And you already getting Asian bitches. Man, I don't see no black pill video about this guy just being white, going to Latin America, and these bitches out here jocking on this dude. Like, they own the dude's jock and everything. And if he was in America, I wouldn't say he wouldn't get anything, but it'll be a lot harder, way lot harder. Okay, he was just an average looking dude. And they take advantage of this. Cause the only thing they gotta do is just be white. They can go to Africa, get all the black pussy. They can go to South America and get the Latin pussy. And don't get me started on Asia, bro. These guys can go to Asia and get all the Asian pussy just because of their whiteness. Because they have a media that's hyping their asses up. And a lot of propaganda has been in these different cultures. And as a matter of fact, they spread this shit out. Especially during these wars, they would spread this shit out. It was already in these people's culture on how to view pale skin, dark skin, but it got amplified out of proportion during these wars out here. When during the Korean War, white male soldiers would go to these Koreans and sell them a whole bunch of anti-black propaganda about how black people grow tails, and tell them that they're less than a human being and monkeys and stuff. And then there were white males that would do blackface and do all this whole bunch of bullshit. Shit. They did the same thing with Vietnamese, the Vietnam. They were selling them a whole bunch of anti-black bullshit. Some of the Vietnamese fell for the okie but some of them didn't. Because black soldiers were talking about how some of them were saying, like, you start trouble, this, that, and the third, right? And I got uncles who are Vietnam vets. I got an uncle, he's late. He a late uncle because he passed away a couple of years ago. But I got an uncle who's he was in the military and he settled down in Germany. I got a cousin, I didn't mention this in the other video, but I got a cousin who went to the army. He settled down, I think he settled down with some Chinese women. He got blazing kids. I just saw a picture. I never met him before. I just saw a picture of him. Yeah, and then if you look at it, it's no wonder why Southeast Asian tends to be a little bit more accepting, a little bit more diverse when it comes to black men. Because a lot of that propaganda, a lot of that anti-black propaganda was pushed in these East Asian cultures. Like Korea and maybe China, because they did have some white guys go down there in China. And they had white volunteers when they was beefing with when China was beefing with Japan. I think they called the Flying Tigers. I think I heard that term from General Tito, the Flying Tigers. And I bet you they was telling these Chinese people a bunch of anti-black sentiments. And even when someone was immigrating here in the 1800s, it was kind of like they was trying to assimilate with them folks, them good old folks. it was kind of like they was trying to assimilate to them when they came down here, even though they was getting treated poorly. They had schools for only whites, it was like they was trying their best to get in those only white schools. But a lot of this anti-blackness, a lot of the glorification of whiteness is coming from the media. It came from a lot of these wars, even come from their own cultures. But that was based on classism, but it got amplified because of all this media propaganda and anti-black propaganda during these wars and stuff. This is why I say, like, we got to create our own media, because the media don't really show us the best light. So we can control our own narrative. And then going back to this book, in these other countries, China, there's a term called white monkey, where they just get random white folks to come and play this damn character, like pretend they're just been this man, been this woman, a singer or a pop star, and they'll just use some type of European stamp of approval to get the people to see, I got this white approval, and they'll try to sell their products to their own people. They're basically pimping their own people. And this is not the first time I heard of this. There's a document on Vice, I think on the Vice News. It's called like Buy a White Friend, while people down there in Asia, specifically in China, they going around buying a white friend to be their friend and stuff like that. They'll use them and pretend to be doctors and stuff like that. I got this information from someone who made a video talking about the whole Stop Asian Hate narrative. Because the narrative, they was just blaming all this shit on black people, which was cap. But if I was Chinese, I'd be pimping them too. I'd be pimping the hell out of them. Because many of these people, not all of them, but many of these people are colonized and white worship beyond repair. There's no hope, no change for some of these Asian people. It's going to take them to get one big wake-up call, because they got that wake-up call during COVID and post-COVID, and some of them still trying to weaver on the fence. So cat's not going to get it, just not going to get it. But going back to this book, that, something's burning some of these white men up. They're seeing a change. They're seeing a shift. For example, hip hop culture, rap music, that's changed a lot of things. Now has more varieties of men in the mix than just the typical white male. And they do not like this. Not all white guys have a problem with this, but some do. That's why you see them on the internet in the comment section raging and complaining, don't make Batman black man. Don't make Batman a black man. Because if you make Batman a black man, Superman might become black too. This just is a way, the image they have built their lives around the default man. And by the way, it's too late. Batman is already black. In a comic book, one of Lucius Fox, one of his sons is Batman. As a matter of fact, they turned some of these characters alphabet. Well, Superman's son, he got turned to an alphabet character. Batman, rumor has it, Batman's getting turned into an alphabet character. I'll be watching a YouTuber who talked about this. And rumor has it they try to change Captain America to an alphabet character. Some of these characters are going to get alphabetized. And I don't even care. Because cats don't want them to become black. All right, then change their sexuality. I'm not even going to complain. Because if it's F me, it's F them. That's why y'all characters getting changed. They gay. Since y'all want them to get changed black. Ha ha. And this is it for the Default Man. I really liked this channel, even though it was short. It still had a lot of information on here that should be considered. But this is it. This video was longer than I thought. And, I'm out.